Dear student, today I will tell you the concept of handshaking. So first we will start with the mode 1 input handshaking, then we will go for mode 1 output handshaking, and then we will go for mode 2 bidirectional handshaking. Okay, so before that I want to tell you the basic of 8255 which we have covered in the last lecture. The 8255 having 3 ports, port A, port B and port C, which was divided into 2 parts. Upper lines of port C are used for handshaking with port A, and lower lines are used for handshaking with port B. Okay, this 8255 operates in 3 modes: mode 0, mode 1 and mode 2. Okay, so mode 0 is called simple IO mode, mode 1 is called handshake IO, and mode 2 is called bidirectional handshake IO. Okay, and port C works with mode 0 only. For mode 1 and mode 2, its lines are sacrificed for handshaking purpose with port B and port A. Okay, this was the basic of 8255 which I have covered in the introduction of 8255 lecture. Okay, now before going to this diagram of handshaking, I want to tell you that the basic concept for handshaking remains same whether we talk about mode 1 input handshaking, output handshaking, or bidirectional handshaking. The difference is that in mode 1 either a port will be programmed as input handshaking or output handshaking. If the port is programmed for input handshaking, then the port will be connected to the input devices like keyboard, mouse, or when port is programmed for output handshaking, then it is connected to the output devices like printer and monitor. Okay, mode 0 advantage that all the ports are in working condition for mode 0, but the disadvantage that it does not support the handshaking. Okay, in mode 2, I told you that it is a bidirectional handshaking. It means we connect devices such that they support the bidirectional transfer, like USB or mobile. We connect these devices to MUPI, so they support the bidirectional transfer. Okay, so now we concentrate on this diagram. Mode 1 handshaking, and the ports are programmed for input handshaking. Okay, so I have used the input device over here. You can use any of the input device. Okay, and this is the 8255, and this is called our processor 8085. Okay, so 8255 and processor are connected with the bidirectional data bus, and this input device is connected with 8255 through the port. We can use either port A or port B, because port C does not work with mode 1. Okay, so here I have used port B, and the port C lines, the lower lines of port C's are for handshaking purpose. So here these are the handshaking signals. Okay, so whenever input device wants to send any data to 8255, first it will see the permission, whether 8255 is free to get the data. So this signal IBF, input buffer full, if this signal is low, this means the 8255 is free and is ready to receive the data. But input devices cannot directly send to data. After seeing this permission, first of all input device will inform the 8255 that I am sending the data through this strobe signal, and by making this strobe signal low. Okay, see, in the communication, whenever we want to send data to any device, first we need to inform that device that we are sending the data, otherwise that data will be treated as garbage data. Okay, so by seeing this IBF low, means 8255 is ready to receive the data. First input device will send the strobe signal, and then it will send the data through this port. Okay, now when the data comes to 8255, it will be stored in any of the temporary register, means one of the temporary register, that is called input buffer register. This input buffer register is not available with the programmer, and it is inside the 8255, and Once that input buffer register is full of that data which is received from the input device, then immediately this 8255 will put this IBF signal high, means stopping the input device to send the further data, otherwise that previous data will be lost over here. Okay, so when it receive that data, 8255 will keep this IBF high and stop the input device or prevent the input device to send the more data. Okay, now 8255 has the data from the input device. Now it's the job of 8255 to send this data to 8085. Okay, so 8255 send this data to MUPI, and for that purpose it will make the INTR high. INTR means interrupt request high. Okay, once this signal is high, then it is informing the microprocessor that 8255 is having some data and it wants to transfer that data to 8085. It may be possible that at that time microprocessor is not free and it is doing some important job, so it may be possible that it put the INTR disable at that time. Okay, so whenever this 8085 is free, it will read that data by keeping this read bar low. Okay, so whenever this processor start reading this data, so immediately this 8255 will keep this INTR go low, because if it will not put this INTR go low, then after completing the read operation for this particular data, MUPI again see this INTR high and it will start reading the same data again, so it makes the duplication of data. Okay, so whenever MUPI start reading the data, this 8255 will keep this INTR low, so that MUPI will not read the same data in the next read operation. Okay, so when this INTR goes low, this means MUPI will not read the data, and after completing the read operation, MUPI will keep this read bar high. Okay, and now 8255 has successfully transferred this data to 8085. Now this 8255 will keep this IBF low and telling the input device that I am free. 8255 is not asking the input device to send the data, it is just telling the input device that I am free, now you can send the input data, you can send the data to me. Okay, so what are the sequence? If we see the sequence of this operation, so first the input device will send the stop signal. Okay, and then 8255 will keep this IBF high. Okay, so this is the second step. Input device first step input device send this stop signal, and second step, once this data is received to 8255, this 8255 will keep this IBF high. Okay, now in the third step, INTR the 8255 will give the INTR high to the MUPI, informing the MUPI that I am having some data. Okay, now if MUPI is free, then it will start reading the data by keeping this read bar signal low. Okay, once this MUPI start reading this data, immediately this 8255 will keep this INTR low. Okay, preventing the MUPI to reading the same data. Okay, means duplication of data. Okay, so this will be kept low by 8255. Okay, after reading this data, when MUPI finishes the read operation, it will keep the read bar high. So this is the next step, and when this data is successfully transferred to 8085, then this IBF signal kept low by 8255, informing this input device that I am free, now you can send the further data. So these are the steps. First, input device will send the stop signal, then once the data is received, then 8255 will keep this IBF high, then 8255 having some data, then it will send the INTR to MUPI by keeping this INTR high, and then MUPI start reading this data. Immediately this 8255 will keep this INTR low, and then MUPI, after reading operation, MUPI will keep this read bar signal high, and once the data is transferred, then 8255 will keep this IBF low and telling that input device that I am free, now you can send the further data. Okay, so the same sequence we can do in the timing diagram. Okay, in the timing diagram, the first input device will send the strobe signal. What is the strobe signal? Strobe signal is a knock. Okay, so it is knocking the 8255 for sending the data. So here I have drawn this strobe signal. In whenever this strobe signal is low, means input device is transferring the data to 8255. So what I put over here in the data line, I have written from input device to 8255, means when this strobe signal is low, the data is transferring from input device to 8255. Okay, when this strobe signal is low, means 8255 is having the data, 8255 will keep this IBF high. IBF stands for input buffer full. Okay, so whenever this input buffer register is full, it will keep this high, so prevent the input device to send the further data. So it will put this line or signal high. Okay, now when this 8255 is having the data, it will send the INTR to 8085. So by keeping this INTR signal high, it will inform the 8085 that I am having some data, I want to transfer that data. Now when MUP is free, it will keep the read bar signal low. Okay, after INTA bar, it will keep the read bar signal low, and as this MUP will keep this read bar signal low, what does it mean? Immediately that 8255 will keep this INTR signal low, so that to prevent the duplication of that data. Okay, so MUP have kept this read bar signal low, and after reading operation, the MUP will keep this read bar high. Okay, so during this read bar signal low, what I have written, from 8255 to 8085, means now when this read bar is low, means MUP is reading the data from 8255. So from 8255 data is going to 8085. So I have written is here from 8255 to 8085. Okay, so once this read operation is completed, now this was the sixth step, and now MUP this 8085 will tell the input device by that I am free, by keeping this IBF signal low. So here this IBF signal, I have kept this signal low, that 8255 is telling the input device that I am free, now you can send the further data. Okay, so in this way the mode 1 handshaking with ports are programmed with input handshaking. Okay, in this way we can put the operation. I hope you understand this. Thank you.